Hey everybody, it's your girl Queen Chill Mode coming at you with another NBA playoff preview video. In this preview, we're going to take a look at the New Orleans Pelicans and the Golden State Warriors for Game 4. But before we get into the Game 4 preview, let's do a quick review of what happened and took place in Game 3. As you know by now, the New Orleans Pelicans were able to win 119-100 to get back into the series. Now Golden State lead now stands at 2 games to 1. Now, my quick observation from Game 3 is usually in the playoffs when a team has a clear advantage over another, that team generally sticks with what got them that lead or that advantage in the first place. However, Golden State deviated from the Golden State Warriors game plan, or playbook if you will, by inserting JaVale McGee into the starting lineup. What has been successful for the Golden State Warriors, not only in the first 2 games of this series, but even in the 2015 series when they took on the New Orleans Pelicans, was their ability to play Golden State Warrior basketball of small ball. New Orleans has not figured out how to beat Golden State in the playoffs when they go to their style of play. But yet, Golden State decided to adjust to an adjustment that hadn't even been made at this point. So in other words, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That, however, was not the only reason why the Golden State Warriors lost the game on Friday night. We now have a series, but let's dive into a few things that the Golden State Warriors can do to go ahead and take a commanding 3-1 lead, as well as a few things that the New Orleans Pelicans can do to tie this series up. First up, the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors came into Game 3 with a lackadaisical attitude, a lethargic mentality, and it showed. Defensively, they had multiple breakdowns. If Golden State is going to take the 3-1 lead that everyone expects them to take, they're definitely going to have a sense of urgency going into Game 4 and have a locked-in mentality and paying great attention to detail on defense to prevent such breakdowns that they had on the defensive end in Game 3. I mean, the New Orleans Pelicans shot 10 of 16 from the three-point range in the first quarter. Not the first quarter, in the first half. That cannot happen because when New Orleans shooters are on and going, that opens up things for Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis had 33 points, 18 rebounds. I mean, he was a beast in that game the other night, and that had a lot to do in part because he got such great play from his supporting cast. And overall, they shot 45% from the three-point range. That cannot happen. You don't want to see Anthony Davis looking like he did on on Game 3. And you will see that if Golden State continues to have the defensive breakdowns that they have. So they certainly got to do a better job of communicating on the defense and certainly pay a greater deal of attention to detail on the shooters. Another aspect of Game 4 that I expect to be improved upon by the Golden State Warriors will be their outside shooting. Now, we all know the NBA is a make-or-miss league. I mean, there's a few things that can happen when you shoot a shot. You're going to make the shot, you're going to miss the shot, or it could possibly get blocked. But there's not too many, you could turn it over in the midst of the shot somehow, but that's neither here or there. They missed a lot of shots that they normally make. So Golden State shot 29% from three-point range and 38% overall from the field in Game 3. I certainly expect them to come out making their shots, doing a better job of getting to their shots. Now, they did do some great things in that Game 3 as far as pushing the ball ahead and getting shots in transition. So that's definitely something I look to see Golden State doing in Game 4 in hopes of pushing this lead up to 3-1. Now, by no means am I saying Golden State is panicking. They definitely not panicking. They shouldn't be in panicking mode. Their fan base shouldn't be in panic mode. I mean, they still have a 2-1 series lead. They still have the home court advantage, and they're still the Golden State Warriors. I mean, they're not panicking, and they shouldn't be. But with the humbling of Game 3 that they received at the hands of the Pelicans, I definitely expect the Warriors to come into Game 4 with a whole different mindset. I expect the intensity to be there on both ends of the court. I expect them to be focused. I expect them to pay greater attention to detail defensively to avoid the defensive breakdowns that they did have. I expect their communication defensively to be better, also to avoid those same breakdowns. And I also expect the Golden State Warriors to play Golden State Warriors basketball utilizing their best lineups, aka small ball lineups. Now for the New Orleans Pelicans. A number of things are going to have to break right for them to tie this series. As you know, Golden State's more than likely going to ramp up their defensive intensity in their defense. So they're going to probably look to trap and double Anthony Davis as much as possible. And when that happens, it's going to be important that the supporting cast continue to feed off the success that they were able to have in Game 3. You know, when that double team comes, they're going to need to move the ball quickly, find the open man, and make the shots. The supporting cast, like I said, is going to be key in this game because they're going to need to be as equally as effective in Game 4 as they were in Game 3. They got great passing from Rondo in Game 3, good scoring from Holiday, outstanding shooting from Nico, and solid bench production from guys like Ian Clark and Solomon Hill. And because they got all of that from those guys, Anthony Davis was able to be the force that we had seen him in the Portland series and towards the second half of the season overall. So that is something that's definitely going to need to happen if New Orleans hopes to be successful and tie this series in Game 4. Now, a final aspect that I think is going to need to be final thing that I think New Orleans is going to need to definitely do in Game 4 is defense. As I mentioned earlier, Golden State was able to get a lot of shots out in transition, especially in that second quarter when they made their run. Klay Thompson got a lot of shots basically by Golden State simply just pushing the ball ahead even after made baskets. He got some open looks that way. And they were able to get back and cut that lead to at least within 6, if I'm not mistaken. So defensively, New Orleans is going to need to tighten up their transition defense. They're going to need to do a better job at defending in transition because definitely Golden State's certainly going to look to push the ball ahead to get their easy shots. So these are just a few things that I expect from Golden State as well as New Orleans in their quest to tie this series and in Golden State's quest to take a commanding 3-1 series lead as they return home to Golden State or to Oakland. So with that being said, as always, I want to take this time to thank you all for checking out my channel. I greatly appreciate it. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you feel there's some things that Golden State or New Orleans can do that I didn't mention, please go ahead and leave a comment. And if you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Thanks again, and God bless you all.